For weeks you've voted, you've debated, you fought for your favorite Mortem Rex rework. And now, only 4 remain. Welcome back to IDGT902. This is the final showdown. The top 4 Mortem Rex reworks are here, and it's time to choose the ultimate version. You guys have been amazing. We've seen so many creative takes on how to make Mortem Rex even better. From balance tweaks to full-on ability overhauls, the community has brought some incredible ideas to life. But now it's time to narrow it down. Let's take a look at our 4 finalists. Before we jump in, just a quick note. These reworks will be shown in no specific order. We'll go over each one individually, highlighting the details and any info shared by the creator. To make it easier to follow, we'll also include written descriptions of their abilities and moves on screen as we go. First, we'll show you the current stats and abilities for Mortem Rex, so you can use this to see what has changed. Our first finalist completely reimagines Mortem Rex, giving it an entirely new set of abilities. This version introduces Fierce Double Strike, Group Devouring Impact, Instant Fierce Rampage, and a brand new move, Regenerating Roar. Regenerating Roar is a priority team ability that heals teammates by 40%, cleanses all negative effects, and boosts damage by 50% for 2 turns, 4 attacks. It also increases speed by 50% for 2 turns, has no delay, and a 3-turn cooldown. The rework also introduces Counter Speed, a passive that increases Mortem's speed for 2 turns after being attacked. It gains a swap-in weakness impact, letting Mortem impact on entry while removing cloak and dodge as well as making the opponent vulnerable. And finally, Insane Obstruction, a new alert ability that heals and buffs Mortem depending on its condition. When secure, it heals 0.5x, boosts damage and critical chance by 25%, cleanses all negative effects, and afflicts escapee with 50%. When threatened, it becomes even stronger, healing 1.5x, boosting damage and crit chance by 50%, and fully afflicting the opponent by 100% on escape. Now let's take a look at the stats and resistances for this reworked Mortem Rex. Speed has been increased to 112, up from the 108 that Mortem has now. Armor has also been improved, now sitting at 15% for extra durability. On the resistance side, Mortem now gains immunity to critical reduction and immunity to swap prevention, letting it stay aggressive and mobile in battle. It also gains 50% rend resistance, putting it on par with other top-tier creatures in today's meta. Our second finalist also delivers a complete rework of Mortem Rex, introducing several new and powerful abilities. It now wields Instant Group Fierce Strike, Invulnerable Devour Impact, and a brand new alert move, Tyrant's Roar. Tyrant's Roar is a priority alert ability that changes effects depending on Mortem's condition. When secure, Tyrant's Roar increases the team's damage by 50% for 3 turns or 6 attacks, and boosts healing received by 25%. It performs a group attack that hits once, bypasses armor, and breaks shields, while applying a Devour Heal that restores 70% of the damage dealt over 3 turns. When threatened, the move becomes even more dangerous. It remains priority, increases team damage by 50% for the same duration, boosts healing received by 75%, and even grants cheat death for 2 turns. The attack still breaks shields and bypasses armor, but the Devour Heal rises to 100% of damage dealt. This rework also introduces a brand new attack, Definite Reckless Hunger, a devastating move with a built-in revenge ability. On its base form, it cleanses all negative effects, removes cloak and dodge, breaks shields, bypasses armor, and removes taunt, guaranteeing this hit lands no matter what. It strikes with 2.5x damage and applies an 80% Devour Heal, restoring a huge portion of HP over time. But there's a cost. This move sacrifices 66% of Mortem's own HP, making it one of the riskiest but most explosive options in the kit. Definite Reckless Hunger has a delay of 1 and a cooldown of 2. When activated on Revenge, it keeps all the same effects, but becomes priority, has no delay, and lands instantly. This rework also gives Mortem Rex a brand new passive, Rending Devouring Counter. Whenever Mortem is attacked, this counter bypasses armor, removes shields, and deals 40% rend damage, cutting straight through the opponent's max HP. It also applies a Devour Heal, restoring 60% of the damage dealt, giving Mortem both offensive pressure and steady survivability.
This rework also introduces a unique swap mechanic that only activates when Mortem Rex is threatened, meaning below 50% HP,
when swapping in while threatened. Mortem Rex gains 50% armor for 2 turns, and cleanses all negative effects on the opponent, then forces them to swap out, immediately disrupting their strategy. This pairs perfectly with its new on-escape ability, Rage on Escape. When an opponent attempts to run, this move prevents them from swapping for 1 turn, then cleanses all negative effects from Mortem. It then boosts Mortem's attack by 75% for 2 turns or 4 attacks, increases critical chance by 65%, and heals for 1.5x its attack. Now let's take a look at the stats and resistances for this reworked Mortem Rex. Speed is increased all the way up to 121, making it one of the fastest fierce creatures in the game. Armor is also boosted to 20%, giving it far more durability than the original. Its critical chance is slightly reduced to 35%, but in return, its critical damage is pushed to 150%. For resistances, this version gains crit reduction immunity and swap prevention immunity. It also gains 50% distraction resistance and 50% affliction resistance, helping it maintain damage output. This version also has a note from the creator. This new and improved version of Mortem Rex is a terrifying, always hungry tyrant lizard that will stop at nothing to get its meal. Most of its abilities include Devour, and nearly all of them break through shields and armor. Nothing can stop this reckless king of dinosaurs. As it battles, this creature becomes more and more enraged, increasing its attack power. Of course, there are still ways to hinder this beast, such as distraction and dodge. But when Mortem is truly angry, nothing can stand in its way. Notes. While I realize the swap-in for this design is very unique, and potentially even game-breaking, I feel it fits the theme well, and gives Mortem something cool and flavorful without being unreasonable. It can't just be used out of nowhere. It only triggers when Mortem is below half health. I also recognize that the Roar ability is extremely strong, but that's intentional. I wanted this design to highlight what Mortem does best: overwhelming force, unstoppable aggression, and punishing anything that tries to escape. Ultimately, I wanted Mortem Rex to feel like a powerful creature that can contend for the top spots in the meta, as it's probably the most iconic apex in the entire game. Next up is our 3rd finalist. This rework keeps Alert Fatal Strike, but adds 2 new offensive tools: Cleansing Devour Impact and Fierce Devouring Rampage. It also introduces a brand new Roar ability, King's Roar, an alert move that changes depending on Mortem's HP. When secure, King's Roar is a priority group attack that targets all opponents, breaks shields, bypasses armor, bypasses absorb, and deals 1x damage. It then targets the entire team, granting 50% increased damage for 3 turns or 2 attacks, and 25% increased speed for 2 turns. When threatened, below 50% HP, King's Roar becomes even more powerful. It still hits all opponents with the same shield-breaking, armor-bypassing group attack, but now it also grants the team 60% critical chance for 3 turns or 2 attacks, in addition to the same damage and speed buffs from its secure state. It also cleanses all negative effects from team, and heals for 0.5x attack, giving this version a mix of burst damage, support, and survivability. This rework also adds 2 new abilities to Mortem Rex. The first is Crushing Counter. Whenever Mortem is attacked, this counter bypasses armor and bypasses absorb, dealing 0.5x damage back to the attacker. It then boosts Mortem's own power, giving 15% increased damage, and 15% increased crit chance for 2 turns or 4 attacks, letting Mortem snowball even harder in extended fights. The second addition is Lethal No Escape, a powerful anti-swap tool. Whenever an opponent tries to flee, this ability prevents them from escaping for 2 turns, applies 33% damage over time, and deals 1x direct damage. And finally, let's take a look at the stats and resistance changes for this 3rd finalist. This version increases Mortem Rex's health to 5,150, giving it noticeably more survivability than the original. It also gains 25% rend resistance, helping it stand up against heavy rending attackers, and it receives 100% taunt resistance, allowing Mortem to ignore forced targeting effects and strike exactly where it wants. And finally, we've reached our 4th and final finalist. This rework keeps Alert Fatal Strike and Fierce Rampage, but introduces a brand new ability, Withering Devour Impact. This move begins by cleansing vulnerability from Mortem Rex. It targets the lowest HP opponent, breaks shields, removes taunt, bypasses armor, and hits for 1.5x damage. After the hit, it applies a 50% affliction for 3 turns, and also reduces healing received by 50% for 3 turns. Finally, the move includes a Devour heal, restoring 60% of the damage dealt spread over 4 turns.
This rework also introduces a powerful new ability called Deadly Dominance.
Deadly Dominance is a priority attack that grants Mortem Rex cheat death for 2 turns, letting it survive lethal damage and stay in the fight. It then targets all opponents, bypassing armor, bypassing absorb, and dealing 1x damage. The move also applies a 100% healing reduction for 2 turns. Finally, it buffs the entire team by 50% increased damage for 2 turns, or 1 attack, giving your lineup a massive offensive push right after the strike lands.
This rework also introduces 2 additional mechanics: gradual counter acceleration and on-escape reversal.
And finally, let's take a look at the stats and resistance changes for this 4th finalist. This rework keeps almost everything the same as the original Mortem Rex, with one exception. Its health has been increased to 5,250, giving it slightly more staying power in longer battles. This creator has also added a note. Both Deadly Dominance and Withering Devour Impact are designed to give Mortem greatly increased longevity. The high amount of blight perfectly fits its role as the Death King, preventing opponents from healing back any of the hopefully fatal damage dealt to them. Gradual counter acceleration provides an edge against slower bruisers, especially in longer battles, just as death draws nearer with every passing turn. On-escape reversal lets Mortem punish fleeing opponents, healing itself to prepare for incoming swappers while taking out the other dinosaur. A modest health buff allows Mortem to stay competitive with all the high-damage threats in the meta. Ultimately, its resistances, and most of its other stats, stay unchanged, because its new cheat death and devour abilities already give it the tools it needs to survive. Cunning creatures can still outlast and counter it with distraction and dodge, ensuring Mortem is strong against what it should be strong against, and vulnerable to what it shouldn't. So there you have it, everyone. Our final 4 Mortem Rex reworks. Please take your time and give each of these designs the attention they deserve. Then head over to our community tab, right here on the YouTube channel, to cast your vote for your favorite rework. We'll keep the voting open for 1 week, so you've got plenty of time to think it over. Check them out again, and rally behind the rework you want to see take the throne. We can't wait to see which version you choose to reign as the ultimate Mortem Rex. Thanks again to each and every person who took part in this rework challenge, and keep an eye out for our next challenge in the near future. Tune in here at IDGT902.com for everything Jurassic World alive, and have an awesome day, guys!